Yeah, we just want to present a few arguments on why it is better for us to have private market distribution as opposed to just depending on traditional aid channels. And basically we want to divide these arguments into two basic categories, which are the economic gains that we get from private market distribution and also the social gains. The economic gain, the first thing that we can see is there's a significant increase in efficiency when we turn to private market distribution because the cost of distributing the nets is half of the distribution through traditional aid channels, and that's written on the handout on which we received this debate outline. And basically, if that is true, that is indeed just purely from a productive standpoint, it's more efficient for us to turn to a private market distribution than through a traditional aid channel. Secondly, we have job sustainability because if we have this private market distribution going for a long-term effect, what's going to happen is that this is going to create more jobs, especially in the retail and the distribution sector. And although it may not essentially at first impact the manufacturing sector as much, as this venture expands and creates more and more opportunities for different nations to be involved in this, it's going to be much more effective. Thirdly, we will have a sustainable venture because right now we're traditionally depending on organizations such as the WHO and the UNICEF in order for funding. But when these organizations don't have any more funding, or people turn away from this priority to different priorities, then we're going to be left with no way to organize these malaria aid nets and to distribute.
By the way, we're on the same team, so there's no debate necessarily. We're all trying to do the same thing. I think let's go from a perspective, I think the two things, or the four things you guys brought up, right? One was that the delivering to subsidy costs twice as much. We agree, it does cost a lot more. But the fundamental thing is WHO can deliver a lot more products than just malaria education, right? They can deliver with their condoms, they can deliver with health education. We can't do that as a company. So we can go out with a subsidy, with an aid organization can deliver a lot more social benefit, which is one of your fourth point, is the idea of social gain. So we want to make sure that we don't lose that because we're only targeting one specific health problem. Two was jobs, of course. I think it's great that if you manufacture more nets, the manufacturing jobs will remain the same regardless whether we do it through private distribution or through aid agencies. The manufacturing. It potentially could be lesser jobs if you don't do it through private enterprises. But the idea in this case, the critical thing is survival of people. Remember, this is not a matter of whether I can get a product or cereal faster at the market. This is about whether we can save lives for people. The longer we wait, the longer the time to distribution sets up, people are dying. So our idea was that malaria is a public critical need. It's like vaccination. Like most people don't pay for vaccination. We don't privatize. This is a critical health need for survival. So malaria is in the same category. So Bednets, when WHO is going out there and delivering it, is an idea of a vaccination. We just happens to be the provider, so when a drug maker made the vaccination, they could have gone out and sold to the public. But WHO or UNICEF or whoever, the National Ministry of Health, came in and delivered that product for that benefit. I think the fundamental question is, of course, that we rely a great amount on aid agencies, the 90%. We have a solution. People are willing to pay a certain amount. What we want to propose is that we take the willingness of people to pay and add it. So the WHO right now says, let's say it covers $5 of the cost. We take the $1.50 that people are willing to pay and increase the scale. So WHO only has to put out $3.50. This becomes a partnership.